Okay, so Matthew, the first time you're submitting a patch to me for the arm-soc tree.
Right. First git pull for the mach-bcm into arm-soc.
What is mach-bcm?
That's the machine directory that contains most of the different Broadcom families that feed into the arm-soc tree.
Okay, so and I've looked at the patches before. I think I've seen all the individual patches on the mailing list, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And I have right now we have 3 different categories. So this would be our first pull request for this 315 cycle, and we have a 4315 drivers, DT and SoC. We do have some things I expect to queue shortly here, but that are cleanup items as well. But
Okay.
we don't have those yet. But I wanted to get these into next, right?
Right. So the categories are great. No, we have like 6 categories that we have typically for every person that's sending us patches. Normally the cleanups actually come first. So the idea of the cleanup branch is that all the other branches are based on the cleanups. If you're moving around files, then you don't get conflicts between the cleanup and the other branches that are based on the cleanup. But if you don't have any cleanups yet, that's totally fine.
Yeah, it was stuff that came in. These got queued earlier on, right? And then we had a nice cleanup patch where, well, Marcus, that cleanup, it's isolated to those files. It's a bunch of code removal and moved between the files, right? And so it's not a lot of file moving in this case. So there shouldn't be.
But if there's anything in the cleanups that touches the same files, you could easily just rebase the branches before you submit them. Because after you've submitted them, it's too late to rebase.
So if we're doing, and this is great because I was going to ask you about this. If we're wanting to, do a pull, say I got this done like an RC3, so that we're seeing that there aren't any conflicts from other, other trees or something, and then I did a follow-up one. I mean, it's too late, right? It's a published branch, and you don't want to do a subsequent pull from.
You can always send multiple pull requests for the same branch, but you can't take any patches back that are already there. So you can only add patches on top.
Okay.
But you can choose whether you start a new branch on a published release from Linux, or you start the new branch on the previous version of the same branch name.
But you don't want to see a rebased on something you're already pulled from, right?
You can rebase on top of what I've already pulled. What I don't want to see you do is rebase the patches that you have sent me already and then get the same patch with a different commit ID.
Right. Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. So shall we start with the SoC branch? Usually we have a certain order for the branches we do.
So another thing you may know, I talked to Olaf about the fact that we ended up with a clock driver where we had fixed clocks previously, and so there's an order dependency of where we need in this arm-soc pool for this upcoming window drivers to go first.
Oh.
And I talked to Olaf about that, and he said that was possible to do.
Okay.
Because the DT branch changes some fixed clock definitions and swaps them out for the nodes for the real clock driver. And we didn't have any way to not have that dependent. And that's the whole reason that clock driver is coming through arm-soc. We got the axe to do that. So it's one of those unique things where we started with some kind of dummy clocks to satisfy some drivers, and then swapped in the real clock driver. So,
right. Let's start with the driver's branch.
Okay, good.
So you.
All right. So do you want me to just show what's in here to start?
Okay, so that's very easy.
Yeah.
Just
and actually,
top of the
Yep.
patches for the clock on top of the published release candidate. That's very good.
Right. So, and then it might help to see that we have Mike Turcotte's ACK on these to bring them through. Our team, we do a lot of internal review before things go out to make sure that we're not churning a lot of basic stuff. So we have that odd situation. It's got my review
All right.
tag and then signed off.
And Alex is also here.
Yep.
He wrote the patch.
Yep. Yeah. We got the whole group here,
Yeah.
and he's got a pretty substantial commit message
great.
because
I love seeing those patch descriptions where the patch description is actually longer than the patch and describes everything you're doing. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's a significant part of the platform, that clock driver. So
Yeah.
all right.
Okay, so do you want to start? Do you have already a tag description?
I have not tagged this.
Yes.
This,
Okay.
a branch yet.
Okay.
So
So you're
do you want to
typing
describe the assigned tags and why we?
Right.
why
So
we use
yeah,
those
I can
and
describe that while you're typing up the description. So every single patch comes with a description that describes what's inside of the patch. But we submit patches together as branches that I'm going to merge. So there are two patches on one branch. There's going to be a description saying what's in this branch, and this is ending up as a merge change set in Git later. And the whole history of the kernel will contain forever these two patches and also the merge that we describe individually. Now what Matt is doing is to describe this in a signed tag. The tag contains both the description and his personal signature that everybody can use then to verify that it was actually him that sent the patches, so we can be sure that no one's doing any monkey business.
This is my first time doing a signed tag type
Yes.
thing. So we just do it. Is there a specific format of the tag name that's preferred for pools to
just
arm-soc?
use the same name that you use for the branch.
Okay. So we'll go back here and show what we're on here. So. And you have a specific format you like to see, or just, like you said, just describe in general the contents, like we
It helps
might
if
in
you
a
have-
cover letter?
If you again have a one-line description and then a multi-line description following that,
Okay.
same as what you do for a single patch. So if you have
Yeah,
one
so-
patch, we have a one-line description that says what this patch is doing, and then the more detailed descriptions explaining exactly why we're doing this change and how it's implemented.
All right. So, so I tagged it with the subsystem information as well. Hopefully that helps. Let's see.
Yeah. So writing the description is always, it takes a lot
Yeah.
to come up with a good description because the description will be in the Git history for all eternity, and people will be able to look at it and have to make sense of it if they want to know why code has been written in a specific way at a given time in the past. So this is something that people will keep looking at, probably not for something as simple as this one, because it's just two patches in there. If you have a longer branch with tens or hundreds of patches, we always want to keep a description. So I will, in the next merge window, I will send a patch, I will send a branch to Linus Torvalds containing this and many other branches for other drivers that have gone through the arm-soc tree. And then there will be another summary describing all of them together. Basically, what are the most important changes in there. I might not even mention this, or I might have a shorter version of the description that Matt is writing up now. I think long enough already, because you already have the very detailed descriptions in the individual patches, and it's only 2 of them. So you don't need to duplicate the text that's in those.
All right.
Okay. So when you
All right.
the passphrase,
Okay.
we don't want to have on the video, and I can explain the whole thing with the key signing. So we're using GPG to sign the branch. He signs it with his key, and I actually need to sign his key. So to get Matt into the web of trust, he needs signatures on his personal key that he used to sign the branch tag, and he needs. He just gave me
Right now I have Kevin Hillman's signature.
Okay. So having Kevin's signature is probably enough, but it's better to have more signatures on it. And you can have this, so everybody who sees this fingerprint can also sign Matt's key, because you can now see this is the strip you just gave me. So.
Yes.
Let's see if I'm typing the right commands now. Oops. This key server is sometimes
I
slow.
suppose you want that. Me to
I'm
push those
downloading.
tags out.
Yes, please just push it out, and I will sign your key in the meantime. So I've downloaded the key from the key server, and I'm showing the fingerprint. And I verify carefully that it's exactly the same fingerprint. It is. I'm signing your key with my key, and I'm now entering my passphrase. And I'm entering my passphrase again because I mistyped. And I'm just uploading the key, which I don't actually need to, but it doesn't hurt to have more signatures on yours. So, and now you need to. Have you uploaded it? Okay, not yet.
Wait a minute. I didn't get to double check how I had my remote
Did you push
set up.
both the branch and the tag?
No, not yet. Let's see. I didn't push this update. Forget if I had my remote set up in this repository, code repository correctly. All right.
Can you describe some more?
Yes. So we're doing this with 3 people, and oh wait, yeah, don't film this one.
Okay.
So we use IRC to communicate between the 3 of us what we when we're merging things, and I'm just letting the other people know now that I'm working on the arm-soc tree, so they don't check in something at the same time that might conflict. So. Yes, so if we have questions, we use IRC to discuss those. In this case, it's a very simple merge because there are no conflicts as far as I can tell. And I know that I want to merge this anyway. So I just let Olaf and Kevin know that I'm now in control of the tree. I actually should update my tree to the latest version. I haven't actually done this on this laptop for a while, so it may need to download. No, actually it didn't. Okay. Okay. see what's in the current tree, who merged the last patches. And I have some stale changes here. Oh yes, I can just. Okay. So I actually did the last check-in last week and nobody else did any commits after that one. Once I get the pull request, I will add the new branch tag. I will add the new changes to one of my 4 branches. There's a description of all the branches that have already been merged in here. We have different top-level branches that we use. We have one for bug fixes that are not critical enough that we need them in the Linux kernel upstream right away. We have the cleanups that we discussed earlier, where there are changes moving around code or deleting code. And then we keep a list of the local branch names and where we pulled them from. And all of this is public. You can actually look at this by downloading the Linux Next tree or the arm-soc tree in this file here. So we have the cleanups, we have SOC-specific changes, we have board-specific changes, we have device tree changes, and finally there's drivers. I have to discuss probably how we reorder them, because we sometimes have dependencies where, for instance, driver changes can depend on SOC-specific changes. But as Matt explained earlier, in this case, the driver changes have to go first. And that means that for the Linux 3.15 release, all of the drivers changes have to come before all of the SOC changes for all the other SOCs as well. You're still about
Had a problem, had a technical difficulty here.
Yes, what else can we see in this? So we already have merged. No. We have already merged a couple of branches. At this moment, we're up to 46 branches that we have merged for the next release. Typically, for a release, we have between 60 and 100 branches that we merged. May have gone up since I was on parental leave, so I haven't followed the latest changes. But we've always had maybe some 80 branches to merge for a given release, and that can be up to 1,000 individual patches that we send to the mainline Linux repository. And we send them during time called the merge window, which follows immediately after the release. So by the time that the 3.14 kernel is released, we get to send our probably five or six branches to Linus Torvalds, and he will apply just those branches, but each of them contains a combination of branches from the individual SOC people. And Matt is doing this for Broadcom. We have other people doing the same thing for Texas Instruments, for Samsung, Freescale, and all the other companies. And we combine, yeah. So if you can just look at one of the branches we have in the drivers branch, we have something from Renesas. We have something for the integrator platform, which is a very old platform coming from ARM. This is just a development machine. We have, for DaVinci, we have NAND device driver changes. MVEBU is Marvell's embedded business unit, where they have added a watchdog driver. And so each of these branches does is about one specific topic where the developers were working on for some time, and they may have many branches doing different things, and they may be able to send the same branch multiple times. So for example, here you can see Marvell has sent 2 branches, where one of them is just an update of the earlier one. So the first branch contained some patches, and then they kept working on them and were adding additional branches. Or you're looking up what went wrong? Maybe I can help you.
Yeah, it's this is the first time I've had a tag with the same name as the branch, so you get the multiple refs.
Yeah, maybe just pick a different name for the tag then.
All right, so I'll delete that and redo that one, and then
you can also that's the easy way to do it.
I figured there was a syntax to specify that that's a tag ref spec, right?
I think you can just add tags here.
I'll have to change that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I had
Yes.
some edit
garbage
in here. So yeah, that should push that tag out. There we go. Very good. And yeah, that's the only thing we've added because I had already queued the actual patches in there. So it's all set now.
Can you send me the pull request by email?
Sure.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and
copy the description from the tag that you just.
Okay.
Just use the tag description as the email body, so everybody else can see on the mailing list what you just wrote.
Okay.
If that
just
makes sense.
manually put that in there out of
Yes.
the tag description then. So it doesn't pick it up directly, right?
No, that's just for people as a reference,
Right.
so they can see.
Right. Okay. And so when you do this, do you normally have get request pull? Will it also can you just do people typically pipe that right into send email, or they do it manually?
I don't directly pipe it. I write it to a file normally, and
Sure.
use git send email. I actually just use my email client normally for a single single pull request. If there's multiple pull requests, I might use git send email. Like if I'm submitting 6 branches at a time, 6 branches altogether, then I might use git send email to send those branches.
Okay, great. Let's see. So we want to look at that tag description. Copy that out. If my trackpad works, I hate working with.
Yep.
All right. So
And now git request pull.
all right.
I think you have to add tags again because you have both a branch name and a tag name. When you give your local branch name, your local tag name, you have to say tags and then the name of it.
Okay. So here I want to give the actual tag
Yes.
name in this case, right?
Can you describe what's going to happen?
So you also have to give the.
Yeah.
But actually, it's.
Let's see. Start.
Oh, actually, that's the end. So that's the third argument. The first argument is the base that you're submitting on. So that would be RC, like Linux 3.14.
Yeah, I'm going to give it v3.14. RC3 was what we.
Yes.
Whoops. Typo.
Yep. And then the URL of your Git tree.
So
That would be the public URL for the kernel source, not the one that you just published to, because you have one URL.
exactly right. So let me just copy that so we don't typo it incorrectly. So
Well, it will check if it's correct because it downloads the tag from there
right.
before.
So we just changed this. So I have to remind myself.
Okay. So you have your own. Oh, it's GitHub.
Yeah.
All right.
And
So is this what you do every day?
Yes. Well, not every day. I get pull requests all the time. So as I said, we have maybe around 80 patches per release, and each of them takes the same amount of work on both sides. So there's someone submitting a branch, and then there's someone pulling it in. As I said, we are 3 people who are doing the merges. We're basically taking turns. And I've just come back from an extended leave, so we have just started again doing this for 3.14.
So merging, it means you take everything that the ARM community is doing and putting it in the full Linux, or what does it mean?
Yes, so the next Linux release will come with his patches because I submit them to Linus Torvalds, or one of the 3 of us submits them.
To Linus?
Yes.
And what does he do?
He does the same things that I'm going to do next. So he just pulls in the branch that I send him, and then he pushes it out to his tree, which is the one that everybody else pulls from. So Linus publishes do you want to show that on the screen? Or
Yeah, so I was just waiting
okay.
till you're done. So yeah, so we get set the request pool of RC3. There's our get URL and the sign tag. Right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
So
puts the text again.
right. So what I'll do is actually redirect that into, for lack of a better name. All right.
Yeah, I gave him the wrong recommendation because now it's warning that you have the same name for the branch and the tag.
Yeah, but I mean, it'll work in this case, but in the future, yeah, I'll give it a unique tag name, or unique from the branch name, so we avoid that problem. All right, so let's see. Let's see. I want to. No, I don't want to recall that. So I want to go to arm.
Right. So this is
kernel.org.
exactly.
Right?
So this is
for
the
pull
alias.
requests only.
Pull request, or if you're sending separate patches. So in this case, you could actually have just sent the 2 patches, and we could have applied those patches. So there's 2 ways of doing this.
Okay.
You can have a pull request for a collection of patches, or you can send individual patches that we apply then directly on the branch. So each of those works, but the more patches you have on a branch, the better it is to just send them combined as a pull request. And that the pull request also has the advantage that you have the signature on there.
Okay, so I'm gonna send it there, and let's see.
That would be the first line of the description that you already did.
Okay, we'll start here, and I can edit in here.
Right, and you should also CC at least the Linux Linux ARM kernel mailing list.
Right.
And depending on what you're doing, it makes
I've got
sense.
a mud alias for that.
You can also CC other people. In this case, you could probably add the. You don't have to because he's already added them.
Okay. Let's see. So, oops. So I want to pull in that.
Yes, actually, now you have the text twice.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. There we go. All right. So we've got all the information.
Looks good to me. Yeah.
Repository looks good.
It's a short summary. There's like the list of the patches and the files that you're changing. Very good.
Full diff stat. Very good. All right. And looks good to me.
Okay, then I will check my inbox.
Yeah, and just to clarify, normally just Linux ARM kernel list is sufficient, right? For these types of things.
Yes.
That covers the whole audience, right? All right, very good.
And slow internet connection, so that might take a small while until we have all those patches. More pull requests from Renaissance. They've already sent me 10 that I have to take care of. Downloading? No, I still don't have it. Still waiting for the patches. I can just put the other pull requests into my to-do folder, and there I have.
So you need an email to do the next step?
Yes, so normally, this is the very exceptional case that we're actually sitting together. Normally, people are spread all over the world and we communicate over email doing this. So I get the email, see that I have the pull request. Normally we do this in more batched. So I currently have a list of 26 pull requests that are still in need of being taken care of. But I'm doing this one now because this serves as a good example.
Do you have to look through all the code and stuff like that? And how does it work?
It depends on to what degree I trust the people sending me the patches. So for some people, I know exactly. I know that they know what they're doing. They do excellent reviews, and maybe I've seen the patches before. So I just apply everything that's in there. If some people come to me for the first time and send a pull request, and I have not seen the patches yet, then I would actually look at the patches in detail.
If something goes bad, do people blame you, or they blame you, or who do they blame?
Well, most of the time it's very easy to find the person to blame. But yes, so if I merge something that's obviously wrong, then I get blamed for doing my job badly. If I merge something that looks good but introduces a subtle bug, then the original submitter gets blamed.
And what happens then after that? It gets pulled out again and
so we try to avoid pulling things out because that messes up the history when other people are building on top of this. In some severe cases we have to do this, but in the majority of the cases we catch it early enough that we don't even merge it, or it's simple enough that you can just add a simple patch on top to fix up the bug. So I have the URL from the email now. And since this is a drivers branch, I have to check out the next drivers branch first. And then I do a git pull, including the log from this URL. And this comes from the GitHub server, which sometimes can take a little while. A lot of people use the kernel.org server, which is a lot faster for us to work with. And some companies just have their own Git servers on which they store all their patches. Yes, this takes a long while.
Yeah, and using that is really legacy from the co-maintainer Christian Dowd originally set that up. So continuing along with what he's doing for now.
Right. And in order to get the account on kernel.org to store your Git tree there, you first need to have the signatures on your key, because we also use that to verify that you're the right person to get that account. Not everybody can just say, I want to have a Git tree there, as you can have on GitHub.
Cycle before we start thinking about moving the tree there and go from there and make it easy. I know, I think Olaf mentioned that, that there's situations where you might pull, a tree without sign tags.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If it was on kernel.org, but they get really suspicious when it's on GitHub.
Yes.
Really want,
in that case, we would
really
always
want that authentication.
Yes. Either that, or we look at every individual patch in detail and see if it makes sense. Like if there's a patch that just deletes a file that is known to be unused, then there's nothing that can go wrong in there. You can just easily see that it's not. No one's trying to do anything hidden in there. Oh, and now it's finally downloading. Okay, so my laptop is also. No, I don't know what it's actually doing now. It should be faster than this. Okay, so we've downloaded this patch. I have the patch description hidden here, and I just added this a little bit. I can see here that the signature has been verified. This will not actually be part of the commit that ends up in my tree, so this is just a comment that I get. Format it slightly differently. And most people don't do it, but I'll actually add my signed off by underneath here. So this is what we normally do for patches, but we decided to also use it for some of the pull requests, just to see that I'm following the normal procedure here. I've looked at this, verified it, and I trust that you have the right to send me this code. I also create a small branch tag for my own use here. And I will call this BCM drivers for the fetch head. This is probably from a previous release, so I'm overwriting this.
Yeah, this actually, it was going to be merged last cycle, but there was a problem. Fallout from the from Mike's clock tree, and so it got dropped right at the end. So re-queued for.
Probably should have looked at this myself, but if you know what it is, then I can just overwrite this. Now I have in the next drivers branch, I have merged the arm-soc for 315 drivers branch from Matt. It's not yet published, and I also want to merge it into the for next branch on my tree first, and mention drivers. So I merge it in here. Actually, I should be using. I should add the log as well. Okay, so this is the merge into the for next branch. Now I added the text file describing all the branches. Go to the end of this, sort underneath the drivers. The local branch name that I just picked is BCM drivers, and I will add the Git URL that I pulled from. And there are no dependencies or anything else that I have to list here, so I just save this file. I commit the changes into a temporary branch. Description for the drivers branch. I was signed off by. And now it's merged locally, and I can push it out to the public location of the arm-soc tree. And I need to push the for next branch, the next drivers branch that he's merged into, and the BCM drivers branch. So the difference between the for next branch and the next drivers branch is that the for next branch is the one that Stephen Rothwell merges. Okay. And Stephen Rothwell merges into the Linux Next tree that gets published every day, that has a preview of all these things that will make it into 3.15 hopefully, while the next drivers branch is the one that I'm actually submitting to Linus Torvalds. And the BCM drivers branch is just for reference for other people to look at. So if they might have a dependency on your changes, they can pull that from my tree and build on top of that. And I will now have to type my password again. So I can actually upload it to the kernel.org server. That was the wrong one. Okay. launch again, and now you can see my screen where it's uploading the branches that I've just merged to the kernel.org server, which is also take a while, probably due to the slow wireless link here. And BCM drivers has been rejected.
Also from before.
Right, and you're sure that this is an old branch that I can override? Just,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, there hasn't been any pull requests before this for this.
Because normally I would go look on the server to see if this branch actually contains something that's not important anymore. But
Yeah, it's
in this case, I trust you.
It's deprecated
Okay.
by this new stuff. It had to be rebased because of the makefile.
Okay. So now it's uploaded to kernel.org, everybody, and it will be in tomorrow's Linux Next tree.
Excellent.